Happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride.
Power to the people. Happy Juneteenth month.
welcome. Episode 16. This episode's topic will be on monetization. I don't know how I'm going to approach that. I wrote a little bit of an outline.
Shout out Clarence Thomas.
Oh my God, Dad, really?
Really? That's where we want to go.
It's okay that you're pro-life.
That's where we want to go. We don't need to go there.
It's okay that you're pro-life, but don't rub it in. Jesus, all us pro-choice people are, I have no problem with you being pro-life, but you don't have to rub it in. It's not a good time for women right now.
Let's not go there.
Shout out. The pink head.
The pink head.
We gonna start streaming that too.
We didn't start at 2.
We always start at 2.
Because we've been starting at 3.
No, we ain't. What is she talking about?
We gotta get some drug tests on this.
Last weekend, we definitely started at like 3 something.
Because there was a lot of shit going on last week.
And nobody even called me to tell me about the show last weekend.
That's not even true.
Please, nigga. I called, Malachi called, Nandi called.
No.
All 3 of us called you, and you didn't answer.
And even the Comedy Corner called.
Right.
Welcome back, Kaz. Has you got anything to promote? We'll let you go first. Since
it's Pride Month. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
Yep. So we're going to celebrate the gay rights and take away the women rights. Great.
Our rights are on the chopping block snacks. But I'm all for it because I'm ready to get a nulls. I don't want to pay another lawyer to do nothing else for me.
I was going to ask that. Like, do all the marriages before just not exist after it's?
I don't know. I think they get grandfathered in.
It's going to go back to state rights, so it'll be legal within certain states, just like the abortion.
No, but if you were married before, did you
get married in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fucked.
I got married in Minnesota.
No divorce for you.
Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, we didn't have it at the time. I don't think. No. We did. I got married before.
Cass, the beautiful
you got
thing,
married if we didn't have it.
Cass, the beautiful thing about marriage is if you make it to year 10, you will get his Social Security benefits.
That's what I'm trying to do.
So just make
it on year 8 this year. It's 8.
Got any?
Oh, really? We're on year 8.
All you gotta do is go.
If you guys are in Minneapolis, if you come down here to Minneapolis, we're gonna be at the Fringe Festival. I'm doing a musical, big gay musical. I don't know if it's gay actually. I haven't read the script, but it's gonna be in August, that first week and second week of August. So come out, support me if you want to. Or just come out and let's have a good time because I get down.
Yeah.
Come out.
We're about to have a house party, and not just because it's at my house. That's not the house I'm talking. I'm talking house music.
Yes. Not look. And now I'm chiming in.
Yeah, come on down, Yvonne, to this house party. I'm about to say we're gonna break it.
What's going on in your world, Miss Yvonne Livingston? Since you left your whole name on there.
Well, you usually change it, don't you?
Yeah, I usually do, but
Okay.
I'll take it up now.
Once you start doing something,
what's going on? You got something?
You got to keep on doing that. You can't stop. You do something for a woman, you can't stop.
Stop being sexist.
I'm just saying.
Women are just like men, except a few little sex organs.
She said it ain't changed because you ain't changed it yet.
We are only 3% different from women, probably. It's not that drastic of a difference between men and women.
So I just been out on Blueface
today.
Networking and building, promoting, meeting, promoting, building, meeting, promoting, building.
Yeah, you inspired this topic that I picked.
I did.
I'll show you why later. Yeah, because you was like, oh, you want to talk about some nonprofit stuff, and I just always, I got experience in nonprofit and stuff, but it's just like I'm just always interested to why people choose to like create a church or a nonprofit organization before they create something that monetizes it for profit. So I thought about it. I said that'll be an interesting topic to talk about. So so that's why I picked that.
Yeah, it is, because then I can pick your brain a little bit. I got some questions to moderate.
That's totally fine. What's up, Nandi? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm in yoga teacher training. It's wearing my body out.
Well,
but mentally,
you're almost near 30 now, so that's the time you started at a good time because that's when I started gaining my weight.
It's about to be up there.
When is your birthday today?
No, nigga.
Why do I keep having your birthday on the wrong date? I got it in my calendar right now. Talking about
it's a whole nother month, dude.
When's your birthday?
At least once a week, I mention my birthday.
When is it?
July 25th.
Why do I have June 25th?
You got the wrong. You put the 6 instead
No,
of the
I do have to lie. It's 7. It says 7/25. Yeah. It must just. It's 7/25 in June. That's the problem.
Okay, Dad.
Get over here.
Anything to promote?
Yeah, happy Juneteenth month, and shout out to my boy Clarence Thomas.
You're just so wrong for that. That is wrong. I feel bad. I feel bad for women. I don't think abortion. The weird thing about the abortion debate is like abortions are not that common. It's really not even a real issue for the most part, and most of them happen in the first trimester anyway. So it's not really what people think. They're making it out to be more than what it is. The more interesting thing I'm worried about is how would this work with contraceptives and pills and stuff and
IVF. A lot of people forget about the IVF.
Yeah, so I just want to see. That's more interesting because.
What about IVF?
In some states, will that be banned? Like, because some people look at life as a whole different thing.
They look at it as an embryo. As soon as it's an embryo, it's a life.
Yeah. And so like, how would that affect the morning after pill? You know, the Plan B. Exactly. That's what I'm more interested in.
IUD. I don't even know what the IUD does, but they said that.
Are we going to jail for miscarriages?
I'm just saying
something like that.
It's getting interesting. I just want to see how it really pans out. But other than that, most blue states you can still get it. It's some stuff you can do across state lines and order the same pills. So it's not as extreme as people think it is, but it's just fucked up that they even want to.
Republicans get the Congress. They want a nationwide ban.
It is.
But I kind of understand. Well, no, I feel like I understand. This is the first time that they've taken a right away.
Well, you gotta look at it this way. To be fair to the conservatives, the way that law came in some years ago it's real weird when the Supreme Court makes stuff law. Mm-hmm. It's like avoiding the legislative process.
But it's not a law. It's a right.
It's not really a right. It's not like written down in the Constitution or nothing.
It's a right to autonomy. Your bodily autonomy.
Is it not?
So the decision for Roe versus Wade comes out of the 12th Amendment. For some right to privacy in the body. No, that's what they're saying. That's the case they used it for.
I thought it was the 14th Amendment.
The 14th, maybe. I might have mixed it up. The 14th one. But it's like a right to privacy type
right
thing.
Privacy to pursue liberty.
Yeah, freedom. So like it's a stretch. It doesn't specifically say anything about abortion. With that said, when that decision came years ago, the Democrats then had Congress, Senate, and presidency.
But that's why you have HIPAA because of the
over the last 50, 70 years, the Democrats had all of those branches of government and never wrote a real law in because they didn't want to push back from the conservative movement.
But it wouldn't matter.
If they would have wrote a law. Yes, if they would have wrote it into law.
It would have been if it goes to the Supreme Court, it's not law.
It would have went to the same Supreme Court that was in at the time that upheld that law. You get what I'm saying?
But they try all the time.
So no.
As a country, we're in our early 20s.
No, I saw this skit.
We're younger than all the other countries.
I saw this skit on TikTok. Yeah, we are. I saw this skit on TikTok. It was of this Irish man, and he was saying on the world stage, why does no one ever talk about America's crimes against humanity and Americans' human rights violation and how we commit those things, just pointing out our healthcare system. We've been in war almost as long as we've been a country. We've been at war with another country or some type of conflict and so forth. And that was really interesting. But it also spurred the mind in my head that says, I don't fucking want to do the work. I'm moving to another country because I want to have a life
with the world. Nobody wants to do the fucking work.
I'm not going to sit up here I'm not gonna. A lot of that work is white people.
That's why you can shout out to the Republicans because they set a goal, and if it took them 70 years, they got that goddamn goal through.
A lot of that.
I will respect them for that, even though I don't agree with the decision.
You think I'm gonna fight for
the Democrats are lazy? They're lazy as fuck.
I'm
the lazy ass party. They don't do
my
shit.
fat ass over across the pond.
And then you get a fighter in the Democratic Party. The Democrats squash the fighter. Like, no, just be quiet.
What's the icebreaker?
But no, we said she wanted to move the woke report up, so we're gonna do Nandi's thing first, and then I'll do the icebreaker.
Someone had to bring up Thomas. You started all this shit.
That's what the fucking woke report is about.
Oh,
I just feel like this is a time that I want to urge people to really think about who in their community is a healer in any capacity. You know, a massage therapist to a talk therapist, all different types of people who serve as a healer in your community. Find ways to connect with them and support them and pay them. Give them money.
Monetize it, huh?
Because
pay your actors. Pay us, please.
I mean, that is a form of healing, I believe. Even a comedian could be a healer. I just think that we need to invest more in that because this is a time where we really need healing.
Yeah, we need some fucking fighters. That's the problem.
But what do you?
The left is too soft. Fight the fuck back.
Half the people right now.
They did this shit in Mexico. Them motherfuckers was out there marching and trying to destroy shit.
Yeah, and then your mic is low.
You gotta understand, half the people in the country.
Actual mic plugged in. Sorry.
Half the people in the country right now are struggling to make ends meet. They're not even thinking about anything other than tomorrow, of making it to the end of the day. So and this is what I'm talking about, where I say I'm not gonna sacrifice my joy and my peace fighting for a cause that nobody really wants to fight for, that I think white folks have a lot of work to do. And I'm tired of doing white folks' work. So I'm gonna go live my little peaceful life, create work, and be happy instead of being miserable 24/7, bitching, because that's all people do. Democrats and Republicans and in the in-betweens, in the woke crowd and the cancel culture crowd, bitching. No one got any fucking solutions. We just bitching. And that shit is draining to me. Because I'll go to TikTok and that's all I'll see on TikTok.
You interrupted Nandi, let her finish.
So, yes, we can all bitch all day. I'm saying that the solution is to find the people who contribute to healing in your community and support them, support yourself, and do what you feel is right. Even if you feel like doing Molly and drinking tonight is what you need, you know, get to the next day, do what you feel is right, and focus on that, and the people who feed you, because that's really what we have. I think that is a solution. And I think that is a solution that works for you deciding what you need. Because I think all the things that we're talking about feel much like external powers of control. And like everything is about that level of control and power that an organization or a person may have or not have. And
people is not that powerful. You just got to stand up. It's more it's 2:30. The masses will always win against the few. You just got to stand up and fight. You can't. It don't work that way. Just everything that ever been earned in this damn country been fought for. They don't give you shit.
I have a whole new strategy.
I'm not interested in fighting. I feel like my existence is fighting, and that's really difficult.
You're gonna keep getting rolled over. That's just the way it works.
Did you hear? But Nandi was talking about
like I'm existing.
They just stripped your rights.
No, but Nandi's talking about being a place.
Like for the reason I'm here, I'm still alive. Damn
I made it, and that's me fighting.
So I'm winning. I'm winning.
So like we can talk all this stuff about Roe v. Wade, but I can make decisions, be intentional about where my body goes and where my attention goes.
Absolutely.
And that's the power that I have, and that's what I'm saying. Everyone needs to figure out what they want to do with their own power and how they define their power, rather than minimizing yourself to this little tiny part of this bigger system.
You just Roe v. You need to fight for healthcare. You need to
I got a question.
Hey, Renita.
What's up, girl?
Hi.
Where you at? I thought you was. I thought your boo was coming to town.
I'm with you, Nandi. You get the applause. The hell with those guys.
Yeah, I just feel like
I agree with
that's
Nandi.
where I'm focused on my healing. Is just deciding where my power goes.
Sound like fucking Jada Pinkett.
Well, no, I was.
Slap him. Slap him.
Well, no, I think
Way past Jada.
Have you ever had a project where you're working with multiple people, and no matter what, the people you're working to aren't listening, and they want to do it their way,
Slap
and
him.
you choose, okay, fuck it, I'm done fighting. I'm gonna go sit over here. I'm gonna mind myself. I'm gonna touch my peace, and let them fuck it up for themselves. And when they fuck it up for themselves, then they've got to figure out how to unfuck it.
How invested am I in this project?
Let the Republicans take over the United States.
This is what you're not realizing. How invested in am I? Does my life depend on this fucking project? Will I not eat if this shit don't get done? Because I will take over that fucking project and do it myself before I let them fuck it up.
My desk.
So I'm saying it depends on how invested I am into something. If I'm really invested in some rights, like the shit I care about, I'm finna fight for it.
I'm at the stage where I'm ready to watch motherfuckers let it all burn down.
And you know it's radical and this much shit I talk, but I got the phone numbers of all the politicians that represent me, the personal cell phone numbers. So like I be out here in that shit.
Earn it to the ground. Let it collapse.
You can't take that shit. You can't sit back. You can't sit back. If you don't tend your garden, it'll get filled with weeds. That's how that shit works. So you gotta tend to
we just can't vote.
Go ahead, Yvonne.
Honestly. Yeah, honestly, we just can't vote and just expect for politicians to work in our best interest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I found out the hard way, through learned experience. So now I will get in their face. I do have numbers and I will call. It's just my existence, right? So if you live in their ward, it's okay to call them up like you would call a friend. Hey, it's a problem over here, blah, 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 check in, how you doing or whatever. But when people take positions in politics, then they're held accountable to the people. But if the people don't show up and say nothing, then they're accountable to businesses, right? Yeah. Because those are people too.
That's who they take their money from.
I think the most important thing is emotional, spiritual, and mental healing.
That was my whole
you sound like the motherfuckers that told the slaves to stay in slavery and just appreciate what they got.
No,
I'm not in
slavery. Not what anybody is saying.
Fuck out of here. Fight back.
Listen, I'm saying that once you start working on your healing, you find power and you do what you want to do where you feel like you can make power and make change. If that's what you feel like is right for you. If you feel like I am so empowered, I am going to expend energy and effort into calling a representative and making sure something happens. That's a part of your healing journey. It may not be a part of mine, but you can do what you need to do or what you feel like is aligned with your journey.
That shit ain't healing me. I'm doing it because I have to out of necessity.
That's a part
of my existence.
Or you could pick your fat ass up like me and move it across the pond and get some nice, quiet property.
All right. What's breaking the
and
ice?
Men come over your house.
All right, since you're asking Dad, at what age did you understand the value of $1?
I still don't understand it.
This changes too much.
When
I understand the value of intrinsic money that don't really have a value. Money has no value. It's intrinsic.
It does have value.
Tell that to Jeff Bezos.
It don't got value. It's backed.
It's a Federal Reserve note. It's not even money.
It's backed by the trust of the people. If that was the case, when Zimbabwe kept printing all that money, it wouldn't have lost its value.
Printed money is a loan nowadays. It used to have value. It used to be worth something. What you basing it on?
It's
silver,
trust.
gold. What's the standard?
The commodity doesn't matter. It's based on trust. The humans that trust it.
Well, I say
it's fake. That's why it changes.
It's a freaking
real
medium.
Stuff don't change.
It's a freaking medium. What age did you realize that you need to make
true.
money?
Gold changes. The worth of gold bounces up and down all the time.
No, it's not. Did you know that 200 years ago, gold bought an Armani suit? That same gold buys that same suit. So don't tell me what the hell value is.
The price of gold does fluctuate.
Yes, it does.
No,
Thank you,
that's
Malachi.
that. It's value. I didn't say price, dumbass. I said value.
The worth of gold.
No, stick to acting.
Gold is
All right.
gold used to be a medium. Silver was a medium. Now it's just paper. It doesn't matter. And now it's
And now it doesn't have any value. You asked me, the money has no value. Paper money has no value.
Oh my God. Okay.
You said $1.
Jeff
Did you not say $1?
The value of $1.
To Elon Musk.
Value of $1. Value of $1 is useless.
He's always missed the forest for the trees, trying to be deep. Okay, Renita.
No, let's be real.
Gold has no value either.
Don't be dismissive because
let's go.
Don't be dismissive because
gold has no fucking value. You didn't outsmart me. Gold has no fucking value. Silver has no fucking value. The value of everything is what somebody is willing to pay for it. You want to play this fucking game? Come on. What makes gold valuable?
Quantis can make this show.
Can you eat gold, nigga?
I started the show with Clarence Thomas. Now let's turn this topic to the value of
gold. No, you just trying to be deep, but you ain't, nigga.
It has no value.
Yes, it does. It has whatever value people put on it. Just like a house has no value. You can't sell your car unless somebody else want to buy it.
I love how unbothered the women are. They're just so unbothered by the whole conversation. They're just like, let these men. When are these men gonna figure something out? Like
I just told Amanda. I was like, they over here popping off. Like,
whose dick is big?
I know what else to do, but to just be quiet.
Kaz, when did you realize what the value of $1? What age? You started making transactions and shit.
It had to do with food, most likely. Just being honest, it had to probably do with food. Probably when I was living on my own. I've lived in a lot of precarious situations. I've lived in a literal closet. I've lived in a church. I've lived on a train. I've lived in a room.
In the park.
This is like a Dr. Seuss story.
I've lived just about
I lived
everywhere.
on the train. I've lived on a plane.
I live in a boat. And I live with a goat. I live in a
room. I lived with the coat.
And I still have
I lived in the zoo.
I tell you no. When I lived in the closet at my friend's house.
The metaphoric closet or the real
closet? No, a real closet. A real motherfucking closet. I went to Target.
Somebody mute Malachi's mic.
For real.
I went to Target and I bought one of those queen size air mattresses that are off the ground. And I had this chest from college, and I had a big old ass desktop computer, and that was at the foot of the bed. And I had it. It was the most comfortable space. And I don't know if it was just because it was enclosed, but it made me feel good. I think when I learned about the value of being broke all the goddamn time, because you figure out, well, if I want to go out to Boys Town for dollar night drinks, I can only spend $20 because I got to pay my room rent for living in the closet. And then I need transportation fare. And at that time, I was getting paid like $450 every 2 weeks. It was sad. It was just not even making $1,000 a month. And so you just had to figure that shit out. And then
I'm just impressed that you had a queen size mattress inside of the closet.
No, twin.
Oh, twin. Okay, cool.
I used to be skinny.
He used to be. Yeah, he did. He used to be real skinny. We had thought he had.
I was getting all the boys.
So you lived in the original hostel.
When I was homeless, the reason why I was so promiscuous sometimes when I was younger was I just wanted to sleep in a bed. I didn't own a bed until I got married.
Wait a minute, stop. You been telling me the reason why you wanted to be.
You know, there are other benefits to it.
What?
I'm like, you got a bed? We're going to your house?
Yeah, he like, damn, nigga, let's fuck. You got somewhere to sleep tonight.
Shit,
that's how I got Drew. Dude had air.
I used to have a sugar daddy. I had a sugar daddy, and he was an alcoholic, and I would stay at his place, but I would stay in the guest room because I wouldn't do anything with him because he was disgusting to me. And he was a drunk. So when he used to get really, really drunk, I would go clear out his cabinets for all the alcohol, take his keys to his BMW, I would ask, of course, and go to my friends, and we would just get lit up. Because you know how do you know that was like a candy store? We used to have to put like our money together to go to Joel Osco before 2 a.m. in the morning. We're rushing to get there at like 1:55 and put all of our little money together to get a bottle of Sky Vodka and one of them frozen lemonade things that you used to make punch from.
Oh, you really had to budget your dollar.
Man, I'm reminiscing.
So you learned the value of $1 being a jigger hole.
Being a jigger hole, struggling.
What we call that?
I don't know what that is.
I used to live in a church.
The whip thing.
Yeah, jigger hole.
Same question, Yvonne.
Oh, I learned the value of $1 when I was hungry. So
You was hungry.
yes, there was no food in my house sometimes when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So so then I began to understand that you needed money to, buy food. Even stuff just didn't appear, right? I wasn't concerned about housing, lights, gas, or anything like that. I was hungry. So, and I was about maybe 6 or 7 years old. So.
Yeah, I think I was roughly the same age. My mom used to, when she go to work, like she'll leave money for all of us, and then my older sisters cheat me. So I was like, I had to learn how to fucking add quick, like just fucking me and BG out of everything. Like my mom would leave like $1 or $2 per kid, and then somehow like we go into the same candy store and shit, and they always ended up with more shit than me and BG. Like I'm like, this shit ain't fair. I'm not understanding what's going on. And then like they'll trick you, like they'll give you like a nickel because it's bigger than a dime. So it's like, let's trade the nickel for the dime. This one's bigger. And this is like, so then I had to learn how to count quick, man. When you got 3 older sisters, they ain't no good, man. Can't trust women. I've never done that to my younger siblings. I always took care of them.
That's talk about women and men and finance. I don't know.
Your brother just learned. Your brother just learned, Malachi, last weekend. He was helped detailing the car with your cousin Oko, and Oko
Gabriel
paid him $10. Then he realized what $10 can buy. He worked cleaning that car, but he asked for another. He said, "Could I clean some more cars?" He realized, yeah,
like if you like having your own money in your pocket is it's nice.
It's called autonomy, one of those rights that we have from the Constitution.
Here we go again.
Autonomy, whatever. If you are a picture of autonomy, I don't want it.
It's free. Look,
I don't know if you have looked in the mirror lately.
Hey, I look like that professor.
I have a role that I am playing.
What's that black professor? That real smart guy.
What is Renita? Is a big kid.
What is his name?
Renita. When did you learn what money's value is?
I think it had to be, basically. Because I need to change the blue book value because I think it went up and I'm still selling it at the regular price. I don't know. I don't know. But let me think. Okay, back in the day, like I said, my mom raised me off the Dr. Spock book, and I think I learned the value of money like when I used to smoke cigarettes in grammar school.
Wait, what?
Yep. In grammar school, we used to smoke cigarettes.
How you at that time?
It was like you didn't need anything to buy a cigarette but a note.
Oh.
I know that was crazy.
Yeah,
I used to buy them for my grandmother. I think I was under 13.
You didn't need anything. And so we were buying cigarettes and that shit went up and we couldn't smoke anymore.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. We was like, no, I don't
like this is adult. This is adult penmanship. Why do you know this is crazy?
Yeah,
I was an adult when I did all my crazy shit. I was 18, 19, 20. When
we used to get illegal stuff that was designated for adults when we were children, we used to have to pay crackheads. It's just like, you'd be like, can you buy me this out of here? And just get them some of it. And
I would just steal from the adults around me. Nobody care.
Yeah, you always just find an irresponsible adult that smokes crack and they'll do it for you kids.
All of them got them wine coolers, them freaking wine coolers. And what's that other one? What was that other one called?
We used to drink the wine coolers when you
but you know
talking
what?
about you. You're a liar. You was drinking when you was younger too.
I lived on 47th Street.
Somebody older got the booze. I drank the booze.
Oh, we had letters, and I lived on 47th Street. But they had a thing called Gill's Beer. Gill's Beer. You could take the actual jug back to the store, and they would fill it up with more beer. And all you
I didn't like beer when I was younger.
You sound older than me. I never heard that one.
Yep, and look it up, Gill's Beer. And they were, they would make their own beer on 47th Street.
Mm.
Yeah, I know, right?
You was drinking the beer too?
Man,
I didn't like beer when I was
that's
younger.
why I don't do shit now. I had a phony idea at 16. I was loose.
See, the spot treatment
Dr.
works.
Spock,
Dr. Spot.
beat y'all kids.
It did. You want to
She got a
real?
good,
It did.
she got a
It
good
did.
government job now. She got a good government job. She got her own house. She got her own car. She got her shit working. She froze.
Not a good
But,
internet
you know, I
connection.
I can agree with her though. Like some of the things she was saying, you know, I experienced too. You know, I drank at an early age. I never tried smoking cigarettes because I watched my sister get hit in the mouth by my mama when she got caught smoking. So I didn't want to do that. But the drinking part, you know, I did that stuff early too. And it started off with beer, actually.
Beer.
Old style with salt in it.
I drank Quantis old style up once.
You sure it was old style?
Yeah, you had that old style, and it was like and you had that brandy with it. That nasty ass brandy.
Oh, the blackberry brandy.
Yeah. Me and BG drank it all up. We were fucked up. But
Oh, y'all had to be met. That stuff is strong, man.
We drank the whole thing. It was like a fifth of blackberry brandy, and then old style beers. Like
y'all chased it with old style.
Yeah, we was lit, man. That's you had came home that day when you was living in Indiana, and we was sick as fuck. But
I did not like
in high school.
Yeah. Are you sure it was old style?
That's what you used to buy all the time when you was working at Spectacles.
Oh no, it was Hams.
Probably.
No, it wasn't Hams, nigga. I know what it was. It's that nasty ass old style. Hams tastes better than old style.
Are you sure it wasn't ice?
No, Malachi started that on his own. The Ice House.
Ice House. That's Tamaris. That's what Ice House comes from. He used to drink that all the time.
Ugh.
But
I didn't get into all that stuff until I started drinking coffee.
Anything to add, Nandi, or we can move it on? Since you're quiet over there, I can't.
Turn your mic up,
I can barely hear nothing.
Hey, sweetie.
I don't know what to tell y'all. I can't make the mic louder.
No, we can.
Okay, yeah, talk louder then. There you go.
I don't know what y'all want from me.
Speak the fuck
There
up.
you go.
I was saying that my first internship, I realized that time is commodified, and I did not like how I was spending those 8 hours a day. So, yeah, I think before that, my uncle was paying me like $20 to do something, like take out the trash, something really dumb.
$20. Wow.
Yeah, and my cousins were like, "That's a lot of money for you to
taking out trash." He's just doing that because he loves
like,
you.
It was an office trash can. He was just giving me money.
Yeah, he just loved his niece. He was just being
and then my other uncle, he would just give it would be like dumb stuff that really didn't take a lot of effort. They would just give me a 20 every time.
So my goddamn nieces and nephews are so entitled.
Yeah, but they made you see. They was trying to like.
Yeah, that warped my.
Who that nigga that popped up in the background? Look,
it warped my sense of like the dollar because when I got older, I was like, okay, y'all have me working for $10 an hour. That's
what
different.
is this?
That's very different.
Yeah, but you're gonna get that over a consistent time, and you get breaks in those hours where you don't do shit at all. So
no, but it's not. It wasn't even about like. It's just I didn't like spending so much of my day sitting at a desk in an office. That bothered me a lot. Like
some
that was
people
my
do
first
like
time
that. If you're
declaring that I would never have an office job because I didn't like it.
Yeah, but now you're complaining about the yoga job hurting you.
Man, that's crazy. I worked for $1.
It was just a fact.
I worked for $1.65 an hour when I was in high school.
Back in your day.
Yeah, but the shit you was buying cost less.
My first job was $7.50.
It's all relevant.
Oh shoot! Back in that day, you could get a Big Mac for under $1.
Okay, so now what's the minimum wage in Chicago?
I used to remember
$14. So like Big Mac is the meal is like a little bit around that same.
And they just snuck it away. They just snatched it right from underneath you.
Wait, I'm saying, what's the Big Mac now?
Yeah, the
McDouble used to still be $1. The McChicken, now it's like $2 something.
Stop eating that shit.
McChicken is $2.19.
I haven't been eating it lately.
I haven't eaten. I ate Checkers the other day. I ate some Checkers the other day.
Uh-oh.
But I haven't been eating fast food. All right, let's keep it moving. So like, why do you think? Okay, so I guess it's an interesting question because we had this come up before. I was wondering, like, why do people? We start with you, Yvonne. So why do you think so many people run to like develop or create nonprofits as opposed to for-profit entities to try to help?
No, I can't speak for everybody, but when I did take the nonprofit class, one of the suggestions was that people find interesting ways to make money and not pay taxes. And, then you have overhead costs. And, once all those things are factored in, it's basically like free money, so to speak, right? But originally I wanted to start one, and I wanted to start one to, help my community. I wasn't even thinking about a salary or anything else, that it took to run a nonprofit. And my professor actually told me if we were thinking about doing one, don't do it, which was interesting, so that was more of a, sidebar conversation I had to have with her, because I'm like, why? And what she said out loud in the classroom was, there are enough nonprofits in the city of Chicago to at least help 75 people. And that's a lot of nonprofits. Mm-hmm. I think we have more than any other city. And a lot of people don't get help because of overhead costs and, people's salaries. So,
but couldn't you do the exact same thing for profit? Like whatever you're trying to do, like if you look at it a certain way, I think it's like people look at.
You could. I got, I started, so I did a LLC, for, what I know how to do. And, right now I'm talking to people, and especially in the mental health, field, I'm speaking as a person with lived experience. And so, I can get paid that way, but I already got bills, once I did my LLC. They sent bills to my crib. I got to get what they send, what's the thing? The OSHA poster. It's like $85. And it's like, oh, you got to hang this up in your place of business. And I'm like, could I just take a picture of it and post it? And then I got another bill for something else. It's like, because I registered as a business.
So it's like this concept. Okay, so like I think like like people don't realize that we can monetize most things, and it doesn't have to be a nonprofit. I think people think that for something to be good or do good work, it has to be like a nonprofit. I think I don't know, like, and like everything that's corporate is evil. It's like it's like we're at this impasse in our society, and which it does seem like most corporations are evil. Is it a good corporation out there?
That's a great question. There was one that I knew of. It's run by a white guy. I have to look it up, but he's the one that lowered his salary and bumped everybody else's salary up.
And made it like a commune. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Was it in Florida?
No, I think it's in. I think it's based in Seattle, somewhere on the West Coast.
Yeah, but
I think the issue with corporations, Mally, though, is the whole entire concept of a business is your bottom line. So you're concerned with the product that you're selling more than you're concerned with anything else if you want to be a business and thrive, which is why we have situations where we can see record profits in companies, but they don't pass that down because it's not about that. It's about how many more people can I get to buy this? People need this. If I raise the price, people are still going to buy this. So even though the price of gas is up, demand is extremely still high. Even though airline tickets is up, demand is still high, even though the price is quite ridiculous. So you're not focusing on the people. And honestly, I don't think you can.
So you think,
aspects.
But okay, look at some of your
I don't think they're evil though. I like the business I work for. I get a lot of benefits. I have a lot of leeway. I think the issue with people is we live in a good evil world And that's just not the world. That's not reality.
A good
I
evil
mean,
world.
there are thousands of nonprofits out there. I was about to say, I think Chicago, the reason why Chicago got so many nonprofits because they got so many goddamn churches. But what are they? And they're supposed to be doing, you know, good and the most good. And you hear
This is
about
outside of the churches, though. It's outside of the churches, not nonprofit.
You hear about Goodwill, and you hear about Salvation Army, and you hear about the corruption that's in those nonprofits because they're running them like businesses. So it's, I don't know. I think you just have to find the good and decide if you want to live with the bad.
Well, having been a person that has experienced both for-profit corporation and non-for-profit corporations, because both are corporations, the non-for-profit is really set up with the mindset of not taking advantage of people. For instance, medical businesses or pharmaceutical businesses. This country, most of those businesses are for profit. And I find it real immoral to make profit off of someone else's misfortune. And that's what a lot of for-profit corporations like pharmaceuticals, medical businesses do. And that's the problem I have with for-profit business. I just think in some areas in life that people should not be taking advantage of.
Do you think
when it only costs $8 to make freaking insulin, but you're gonna sit up here and charge $800 for 1 ounce of it? There's something wrong with that.
But I'm saying, do you think certain medicines still would have been developed if there was no profit motive?
Yes. Matter of fact, I think there were more cures found back in the old days than today. They've been throwing all this money towards cancer and barely finding any answers. And even vaccines are not as frequent finding solutions for some of the health issues. And I think a lot of it is because of money. They're throwing too much money at stuff and not coming up with any answers. I think it's actually done the reverse.
But life expectancy is at an all-time high.
Because the medicine is designed to keep your butt alive long.
You know that what's available in that field that could actually be efficient it's not aligned. Like, you're saying that maybe these things wouldn't have been developed without profit, but there are a lot of things that were already developed and just aren't available because they would take away the profit from it.
Agreed.
There's a lot of things in our lives that would be way more efficient in a way, but if they did it that way, it would throw off the way
that's a good statement.
Our economy. Yeah. I just feel like in general, oppression is more effective when they can create some like polarizing opinions and experiences. I agree with what Kaz said. Like it's always this conception of what, like, oh, this is bad, this is good, and there's this space in between that is good, but we have all these influences that are trying to make us pick a side, and that's just not aligned with reality and being human.
It's probably more gray, but I just think no, I'm just saying like okay, art, like
art's like not regulated.
No, I'm just saying something like art, and people make money off of that, which years ago maybe people didn't make money off of art. I don't know, but I'm just saying something like that, like I said on the other episode, like a little white kid plays with a little white kid play with Legos, and then his parents are gonna find a way for him to make money off of it, right? So that's what I'm saying. They always approach everything as how to monetize it, and I'm speaking more to the Black community. Like we will run to try to create a nonprofit to solve our issues, as opposed to incorporating something that'll make money.
I think a lot of that, Malachi, has to do with our backgrounds too, because when you look all the way back where we come from indigenously, the African mindset is totally different from the European mindset. The African mindset, if you study sociology, the African mindset is like everything belongs to the earth. It belongs to the people. The European mindset is get all you can get, can all you can get, and guard the can. So that's the difference in the mentalities, where you have people that believe everything belongs to everybody, and then other people believe that what the hell I find belongs to me. That's what sets up this type of system.
I think though, when we look at countries that do have socialized self-care, I was talking to someone else about this, and because we were talking about food restrictions and how the quality of food that we have in America is vastly degraded than the food that is found in other countries like Europe or the UK. And I said that if you look at their model of healthcare in the UK, they have the National Healthcare Service. The state is paying for their healthcare. So the goal here, just like we have the biggest people in the world, I would be really odd to find in London being 400 pounds. There are not a lot of 400-pound Londoners. What they consider overweight is what we would consider thick in some cases. But you have a system over there where the state pays for healthcare. Therefore, I want to make sure the majority of people are healthy. Whereas in the United States, we are going to let all of the bad stuff in our food. We're going to dump all the shit in our water because, again, we have a for-profit healthcare system. And the more numbers I get in and out, the more money that my business is going to make, because people don't look, businesses to me don't look at people as people. They look at them as data. And I think when you look at governments and you look at corporations and you look at nonprofits, we're not thinking about people, we're thinking about data. And you have to reconcile that, because if I gave you a piece of paper and I showed you this company and how successful their revenue was, and you're like, yeah, that's really good. And then I told you it was a healthcare model for insulin, and you're like, oh, that's immoral. Right. But there's a good business. They're thriving. So how can you be mad at someone that has a good business? So it gets really complicated, but it's really interesting when you look at other systems that are in place in the world that we simply just don't have. And somehow their corporations and their economy hasn't collapsed because they have free social healthcare.
It's like Canada. Canada's got the same freaking drugs we have, but they cost like immensely reduced compared to what we have here. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I think it's like a balancing act though. Like it's a gray area. You can't just go straight socialist 100%. And I don't know. You got to have some kind of incentive.
You can with the medicine.
Most of it probably, but some of the new developed medicines probably not. I don't know.
Why not?
You got to recoup the research and development costs.
What?
But that stuff is absorbent in itself. You got researchers making millions of dollars for what?
If you diversify into something accessible, it's more profitable.
Not necessarily. So, like, if you got like a disease that maybe only 1% of a population has, and it takes $20 billion to develop the medicine for it, you got to try to recruit that early in the process. The price will always get lower towards the end. What they do in insulin is something totally different and really messed up. Because that medicine's been around forever.
What disease at that low of a rate to where you don't want to invest in it? I don't think that there's anything out here like that other than like very rare disease like monkeypox or some shit like that. But like everything else, I feel like
they developed that in Wuhan.
If you make the treatments more accessible, you might find that more people are finding information and realizing that they have it and that they need that treatment.
It's totally fine. No, I'm saying
I feel like my issue with the medical system is that all of these statistics we have are all skewed based on profit. And that's frustrating to me. Because you can say that, oh, there's this one thing we aren't willing to invest in it because not enough of the population needs it. But it's like, you don't know that. You don't know that because science is all based on the
pandemic and the vaccine. Other countries with national health care were coming up with vaccinations before we were. And we inflated so much money, governmental money in it. But Yvonne had a question.
Okay, go ahead, Yvonne.
Yeah, so my question is, we get to the end of a product, right? And we say it's worth this much. And then you stated, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the process, right, is the reason why, you have the profit on the end, right? But the whole thing, when I look at people's salaries and, because in the nonprofit world, right, you can see, right, what people get paid, which I think is fair, that you can see a salary. In corporations, you can't.
The public ones, they post all the salaries. This is ridiculous.
Right.
Too.
Right, exactly. Because those salaries have to match everything else that they've increased. So it's inflation that is driving the cost of people's salary. Some people though, right? Not
a
all.
whole nother show.
Yeah, the inflation is a whole nother issue. But
Okay,
no. What I was explaining in that is like okay, so it's a corporation. It's a public corporation. You got a whole bunch of stockholders, right? And they want return on investment. So this is they're trying to meet the return on investment part. So this is all that's going on.
Greed, though, right?
I know that stuff. It just sounds
when you buy stock,
so...
when you buy stock, you want it to go down for the greater good, or do you want to make your money back?
Okay, so I guess this is another question. Then why do we even need stock?
That's just so multiple people can own part of one big company. Yeah.
So multiple people can own part of a company.
A public one, it can be over 100. Not public, it got to be 100 or less.
I think to answer the other question about why are we creating all these nonprofits? You have so many nonprofits that are literally the same thing. They have the same goal. They have the same purpose. And there's not enough collaboration. And I feel like we need more co-ops. We need more cooperatives that help. If you really want to care about your community and do things at a grassroots level, and if you do that, if you've got a great cooperative in Chicago and I've got a great one here in Minneapolis, they can be two separate entities and communicate and share with each other, and it becomes this web. But nobody really wants to do that because there isn't this need that I'm better than you. We are trying to always chase to be better than someone else, to have the next best thing, to have the rarest thing. And I think that's where the problem comes from. And you have to decide as a person what environment you want to live in, what city you want to live in, what country you want to live in based off of how these things work, which is why I say it's like an uphill battle when you're trying to fight these things by yourself or even with a group of people. Because if you don't have the capital, you're not going to make any movement.
That's why I'm saying you have to monetize things. But you don't have to run your company like all the other corporations. You
know what's really interesting about your question though? A lot of nonprofits wouldn't exist without oppression. They're all trying to fix some portion of oppression.
No, it's totally fine. I'm saying you probably can fix those problems through corporations too. Create a corporation.
But we're not. That's what I'm saying. So like if the corporations weren't
making good food at a restaurant, it's more restaurants than places trying to feed people.
Well, why can't you have a
That's what I'm saying. They're focused on profit. So all of the like collateral oppression that people experience because of that ends up being a nonprofit cause.
Most restaurants fail and they have terrible profit margins. But I'm just saying, it's just like, yeah, most restaurants fail.
Okay, so knowing that, they're not gonna try and give away some shit, even though they have excess.
Most nonprofit fail. Everything fails, but like,
it's worth giving. What I'm saying
based on the system
the wrong question.
The one.
Why not have more cooperatives? Why not have more co-ops? What's the negative?
Co-ops are nonprofits.
But why not have more of those?
That's really hard to get cooperation.
A corporation. The key word to the co-op is people cooperate, which is one of the hardest things to do.
It's hard to start a corporation. A corporation got to have more than one person.
It's hard for us to cooperate on this show.
But we still take care of each other.
True. That's what it is. But
we still try to meet each other's needs when we can.
This is true.
We still have community.
So it's a co-op.
I think my bigger thing is
you got a point on that one, buddy.
Because I think it's more of a mentality thing. Like I don't know if what Grant was stating is the reason or the root of it, but like I have to show people that they need to be paid and stuff all the time, and they always trying to do volunteer. I'm like, no, nigga, you need to get paid for doing this. I got little cousins and people be around me. Like you said, Nandi said her uncle was like, you need $20. You should be demanding shit every time you get shit. And that's what I mean. Like we need to monetize and look at shit more business things as opposed to you barely got shit and everybody just out here doing free shit. You need to get your shit together.
I don't like that at all.
Why?
I don't know. It's very personal for me as somebody whose family is constantly trying to commodify and monetize things.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not the kind of person I'm trying to be. I feel like you said, things have the value that you give them.
Mm-hmm.
And like, obviously we need money to survive. But I think that there are certain areas of life where I would like to not be worried about profit and, you know, I don't know. It just it don't fit everywhere. And I feel like it reinforces this like weird individualism that's super white and like the underlying part of our oppression. So I don't like that for Black people.
I totally agree with you.
For Black people to be like, oh, we gotta blah blah blah. Like, yeah, I want Black people to be prosperous, but I don't feel like that has to always depend on a bottom line.
I totally agree with you, but here's my thing: we live in a capitalist society. It's just not gonna work. You can't.
I think that it. You know, this is my argument. I think
that's what I'm saying. I said, what if you're fighting that system with community? I think that's why so many Black people are starting these nonprofits, because they're like, okay, we can do things where we don't have to rely so heavily on all of these efforts to earn a half-assed dollar from an entity that doesn't give a fuck about us.
I'm fighting Black community. That's my logic.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm saying, so like create.
But you're also, I think what Yvonne is also doing though, which I don't think everyone's kind of missing, because when a lot of people think about monetization, it's a very personal, individual thing. And if we all have the same goal, if we all have the same resources, why not collaborate so that we all can prosper? But there is this, like I said,
that's what a corporation is. It's a collaborative of different people.
Not necessarily
to gain money. Yes, it is.
In the field that I'm in, I am very not monetized, where I could actually be getting a whole lot of money for my services. With the experience and stuff that I do, everything I do is pretty much pro bono, and I do it. I don't have a problem doing it at all. It's just the background I come from is more communal, and so I don't have that. I got to get paid for everything. I noticed that even with some of these younger kids, they won't do SHIT without $1. Take out the garbage. They won't do it unless you pay them.
When you have supporters in that situation, you're able to be prosperous without literally seeing money. That's my thing. Where people value what you give to them or what you allow them to find and assist with, so much so that they're willing to support you in ways that
works for people that, you know, got other people supporting them in some kind of way. But if you really out here and it's hard on you, you got to get your motherfucking money. Ain't no other way around.
Well, yeah, I get that, Malachi, but it's a lot of people in this day and age is about that bag, and that's cool and all of that. Even it has gotten to the point that hell, I can't even go out on a date without somebody being about that bag. Get your money. And it's a mentality. I'm like, what the hell, man? Everything
who
ain't
paying
about
the bills?
money.
But I think the problem is coming. This is my only issue with it. My issue is that the mentality of I got to get my bag means that I'm going to step on whatever, whoever I need to in order to be prosperous. And that mentality is wrong to me, because it states that in order for us to be successful, someone else has to fail.
Right.
And I'm of the belief that we can all be successful together. I don't got to step on you in order to get my bag.
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that. Don't shit on people and don't do that. But I'm saying the only way you're gonna beat these other like, come on, like, it's nothing you can start that's gonna create a supply chain like what these corporations run, unless you create another corporation that can compete with them. But you got different goals and you don't give a fuck. You know, you ain't trying to shit on gay people, black people, women, and stuff in that way. You can make a corporation better. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, you do not have to.
Capitalism is so white and uninspired. I just feel like.
But that's the system we live in. What you gonna do?
Did you realize she on the camera?
Kaz got the best option I seen. Kaz got the best option I seen, which is to leave the capitalist system. I know she just finally saw it. which is to lead the capitalist system and just try another system. But other than that, you're not gonna. This is a capitalist country. You gotta compete.
But I still think you can live in a capitalist country and decide what your environment's gonna be like.
True.
If you're gonna have a block on your block, you guys plant vegetables, or you have solar power. You have a solar power garden, and you guys all chip in and get together and have a community. That's the community you choose to live in.
We do.
Always gonna find ways to limit that, though. That's
right here.
Let's pay taxes
in
to a country that
Minneapolis.
start unnecessary wars.
No, you got a good example, Nandi. Right here in Minneapolis, these bastards are making it very difficult for people to get solar. They got so many restrictions and things. They don't want you to get off the grid. They're making it absolutely super duper hard for you to get off the system. It's crazy. And like you said, Malachi, that's the system we live in. Sometimes you got to do like Kaz and just get the hell up out of here.
But you also got to realize a lot of these things they pay for our, they pay for the stuff that we people, you can't be socialist and not expect to pay for things. In these countries, the taxes are high as shit. So there is a give and take. If I'm going to take care of everybody, we've got to all put in our fair share. And I like that system more than a system that says, I'm taking care of myself no matter what I have to do, no matter who I have to step on, no matter what the repercussions are of me being on the top. I will never not be on the top. And that mentality scares me.
Says the man that calls himself a top.
I'm burst.
The individualism reinforced by capitalism upholds oppression, and that bothers me.
All the socialist countries are not socialist; they're capitalist too.
Okay, but I wasn't. I just said that statement.
I'm just talking to Kaz. Like even the ones you think.
No, I agree, but their shit is even a little less.
Communist China is capitalist.
The people, but communist China. You know what? In communist China, they know it's bad. But they said, fuck, we would never change our system for the American system because every 4 years, y'all can get a crazy motherfucker and fuck up the whole goddamn country. They said, yeah, it sucks over here, but it's less suckier than here. And a lot of people that live in other countries, that's how they feel about the United States because they're still fighting. They're still fighting for what they're fighting for. Their conservatives are our liberals. So they're still fighting for what we're fighting for, but just in a different manner. And it's just
land, start your own business.
It's some of the shit I could deal with some of the shit in other countries that I'm not willing to deal with here.
According to Malachi's theory, the best way to fight fire is with fire.
Damn right.
And if you're
burn
gonna
all
make
this shit down before y'all burn me up.
And if you're gonna make it in this country, that's the attitude that you have to have. Most people are majoring and minors on both sides of our politics. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they both backing the same people. They both backing pharmaceuticals. They both back in the medical industry. They both back in the arms and all that other stuff. Where all the bulk of the money's being spent, both parties is backing that. Mm-hmm. You don't see no big debates over sending money to Ukraine or spending money on the military budget. There's no big debates about that. There's no big debates about how much money is going to the pharmaceuticals and all that other stuff. The debate is about welfare,
gay marriage, women,
all stuff that
don't really affect most people.
It's not going to affect the majority of people. Gay people still going to be gay. There's nothing you could do about it. People still going to have their abortions. Whether they back alley, whether they be more careful, whatever they're going to do, they still going to do what they're going to do. So we majoring in minors instead of realizing they two wings on the same bird.
You like them chicken wings?
Two wings on the same bird.
Yvonne, you too much.
What did she do?
She said, how much longer we gonna be on?
She's like, how much longer we gonna be? She was tired of listening to your soliloquy.
I think what she was saying. Stop.
Oh, don't do that, because you know that was not the case at all. I don't run like that. However,
y'all making a big deal. All I'm saying, you're making much ado about nothing instead of realizing both them people.
Let's rank these equities and then we can wrap it up. Stocks, real estate, intellectual property, and commodities. We let you start first, Dad.
Say it again. Stocks,
real estate, intellectual property, meaning, you know, like movies, songs, rights.
Real estate is number one. That's a no-brainer. There's only so much of it, and people you be foolish to give it up. Number two, your intellectual property. Stocks, even Jesus told you don't trust in that.
And then, like, what about commodities? I put that on there too.
Commodities, I rate that above. I rate commodities above the stock. Stocks is gambling.
What?
Wait, define commodities again.
I'm talking about like resources, commodities like your chicken, your pork futures, all that stuff that you trade in the market exchange. So, and then you got stocks, which is ownership in business. Well, even though all of them are technically commodities, but I broke it up like that.
I like what God likes: land, minerals, animals. That's it.
I don't know. Intellectual property is pretty good. That's the reason Disney's got so much money, and they keep changing the laws every so many years because they lobby Congress to increase how long they can have the rights to Mickey Mouse. So,
it's on our own personal decision of value, or
which is this how you want to do it. It's
what's valuable to you?
You know, this is just like a free transition towards the end. Go ahead, Nandi.
Real estate, commodity, and then intellectual property.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna put intellectual property number one. I think that I wish I had a parent that had some rights to the Michael Jackson catalog or something. That should be dope.
What else would you? What other?
You know the cool thing about intellectual property, like it's like one of the only things. Like real estate, you got to constantly pay taxes on. I don't think you got to pay taxes on your intellectual property until you sell the copies and stuff.
Well, I don't think you should have to pay taxes on real estate all the freaking time. I think that should be a one-time shot, like it used to be when this country first got started.
They do it like that for a reason.
No, always make an excuse. You need to be a politician.
No, I'm
always
just
making an excuse.
I'm explaining why things are.
Real estate sales tax should be it. It should. You're renting it. Nothing.
No, I agree with you, but I'm explaining why they do. In the best interest of the government, it makes sense. In the interest of the person, it doesn't. So that's all I'm saying. Same question, Kaz.
Oh, intellectual property, commodities, real estate, stock.
I might switch to commodities being number one because this is water.
That is so fucking sick.
Yeah, water is.
That's crazy because if you got land, you could grow your own commodities.
Water's gonna be like it's gonna be wars for water in like the next 2 decades.
I just moved from place.
You live by the Great Lakes. You're in the best place to live right now. So it's the most.
Why?
The Great Lakes. That's where fresh water is.
It's not a fish. It's not a fish. Minnesota's actually a pretty good place to live.
California water is drying the fuck up.
Especially with global warming. This is a good place to live.
They're content unless they find a better way to desalinate salt water into fresh water.
There's this guy that can make water come out of the air.
Who?
Some black guy. He got some machines in Flint and some other places, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, nigga, like, you been getting too high. You been getting too high.
No, that's a thing. That's a real thing. He figured out how to compress the air into
the oxygen.
What to use all of this is a fucking dehumidifier machine.
It's cheaper. He said it's cheaper than even getting groundwater.
Well, where's he getting it from? The humidity?
It's the air. He said it just. I watched the thing. It comes out of the air. He's got these big boxes, and then comes out of the air. The water comes. It's FDA approved.
Yeah, but the air has to have something else in it besides oxygen.
Yeah, that shit ain't gonna work.
It takes another element to make the water. You got to have at least hydrogen to make the water. You can't just make water from oxygen.
There is hydrogen in our air.
Yes, you can, because.
Okay, chemist.
That's always happening. That's always happening. We live by lakes, so that's always happening. Whatever.
That's what I'm saying. So then it must be some.
All I'm telling you is I made a machine
Nandi,
that takes air and makes water.
Anybody living by the lakes is good. You got fresh water for days. It's the people that live in California.
What the hell I need to get it out the air for when I just get it out the ground?
What are we gonna do with that water?
He just said that it's cheaper than getting groundwater. Water is becoming scarce.
He talking to, so he pulling the water out the air right before it rain or something. It's gonna come down anyway.
Listen, I will send you guys the link. I will send you guys the link of the man who's doing it, and y'all can read all about it. I just saw the news report.
It just rained on this stage, right? It was like a gallon of water on the stage. It's gone now. It's in the air, so he's just getting it before the clouds get it.
Yeah, before the clouds drop, he's taking the water out there.
Taking the moisture out of the air.
That motherfucker trying to monetize this shit. Leave him alone.
I ain't mad at him.
What you're missing is if that liter of water is gone, it evaporated into
right.
It's not immediately a cloud.
Not immediately.
Give it a few weeks.
A liquid. We're like moving.
Right. We get that, Nandi.
But I'm saying, like, okay, I just don't understand.
What region is he in? If he's
Michigan.
He makes them in Wisconsin.
In Michigan, where the humidity levels are high, it rains all the time.
He's got them all over the country. He's got some of them all over the country.
And he make it do it in the desert. That's where they need water.
I think so, yeah.
So he need to take his ass to Afghanistan and Iraq.
He ain't gonna do that. It ain't gonna work in the desert. It's too dry.
I think it does. He takes it from the oxygen, the air.
Because their aquifers under those places are gonna run out in the next 2 decades.
He ain't getting no water in Arizona. I want to see it.
I don't think we can do anything with lake water, Malachi. I think we were saying about that one.
Lake water is fresh water.
Well, we drink, sweetie.
No, but like also all of the debris from our city has run.
What the hell we drink here?
Well, not here. We drink groundwater here.
Yeah, we don't drink lake water.
But people like in Chicago, people in Chicago drink lake water.
People in Chicago, and that's the best water in the region.
They're getting their water from Lake Superior.
Mm-hmm. And we pour the waste out into the.
Who's getting the water from Lake Superior?
Duluth.
Yeah,
Duluth.
Like that.
Yeah, all Chicago wastewater goes and back down to the Chicago River, which pours into the Mississippi to poison everybody in the South.
You didn't know that, sweetie? You drinking pee-pee.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't like the idea of like, okay, doing anything other than showering with the water, because that's about all that it's.
But your skin is the biggest organ, so if you shower in contaminated water,
that's what I'm saying. Like, all of it is a problem, because have y'all thought about how like they haven't
well, let's see.
They're redoing our roads, but they've never redone all of this water system.
The person that got the best
skin, constantly going in the ground in Chicago changing our pipes.
The person that got the best
doesn't mean that they're actually doing the maintenance that makes that water drinkable and healthy for you.
That's what a fucking filter on your faucet. What are you talking about?
That's why we go to towns, you see those big old water towers. They put all the water up there, they test it, they clean it out, and then your water has a certain
amount. They put fluoride.
They're not clean because it's going through old ass.
They got chlorine in it.
No, they put chlorine and fluoride in it.
Okay, but there's still
fluoride is dangerous, Malachi. It kills rats.
Fluoride, they don't put that
there's
much
still microorganisms, of course.
Fluoride is actually good for your teeth. Believe it or not.
Sweetie, you eat cockroaches when you go to a restaurant and eat their food.
That's weird to me. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Wait a minute.
I'm aware of it.
Wait.
First off, there's an allowable.
Listen
to me, Quantis. There's an allowable amount of bugs that the FDA allows.
Okay, hold on. Food. Time out. What restaurants you ever work at?
Me. I used to work at a banquet hall. I'll tell you, there was some roaches.
What's the name of this place? Let's put them on blast.
I have managed restaurants and owned restaurants.
Restaurants are disgusting. I don't care where.
And ran a packing house.
If you
that's
think
the only place where there was the packing house is the only place where they have allowed
bugs have gotten in your food, even the food that you're using. Bugs in them.
Yvonne's ready to go. She got to do Art of Black Psychology, and then you guys can talk crap after she leaves. Go ahead, Yvonne.
You're wrong on that one.
I'm not wrong. I'll send you the stats.
We can't let you have that.
Is that a wedding ring?
Absolutely not. It was a comfort ring that I bought myself while I was going through some tumultuous times, and it on the inside there's an inscription that says, God carried me through some of my roughest times.
Wait. You said comfort ring?
Yes, a comfort ring.
I
Yes.
never heard of that. That's the first time I heard of a comfort pet, but not a ring. Okay.
Yeah, it's a comfort ring, and it's silver. It's my favorite jewelry. I like silver.
Let me see it. Let me see it, baby. Oh, okay. It does look like a wedding ring a little bit. All right.
But it's not. It's silver.
The
It
Quantis had
has
did something while I wasn't watching.
No, it's not true.
Okay.
I don't know. She got some smooth skin, so that Chicago water must be doing something right.
They're making a bunch of goddamn killers.
I take care of myself. The water is not producing killers. It's not doing anything of the sort.
You know what made the killers? They stopped drinking that faucet water and started drinking that damn bottled water. Some of that shit.
Nah, that's dangerous.
And you know what they said? That bottled water is just tap.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, so there's that, right? So in my new intellectual thinking, right? I would list commodities first because commodities to me are people. You know, in order for us to produce anything, you know, it has to come from people. So, and then I did intellectual property, real estate, and then stocks. And I kind of had to frame how I think like this because of the nature of the work that I do, right? Building community, crossing those bridges, collaboration, networking, co-oping. And I've been just doing it through people. And that's the prize for me.
So. Get your money, girl. Get your money.
Get your bag.
But then operating without
I ain't saying
money.
You need $500K. I'm just saying like $75K. Okay.
$75K. Okay.
Yeah, just is.
That's a little bit.
Yeah, $75K a year, then live a modest life. I ain't saying you gotta do all that. That's all I'm asking people. Don't be out here damn near finna die and you know trying to fix somebody else's problem. Let's fix everybody's problem through monetizing ourselves. Let's empower ourselves through money. That's all I want the Black community to do.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I'm asking. Let's get to this money, y'all. Like, I ain't saying we got to, like, Kaz, I don't want to shit on nobody to get the money. We should do evil things to get the money.
And then join my page, The Art of Black Psychology. I talk about many different things. And this new venture that I'm going off into is going to provide some money for my community. Individuals.
Amen. Monetization.
Okay. All right. So that.
Hey man, make
we
that money.
We started off right there to get to this point, and then Malachi, yes, we have to talk because there's some money involved into the community getting it right.
Pimping ain't easy.
By the way, guys, I'm not against nonprofits. I actually run a nonprofit.
Monetize these feet. Right. That's what I'm about to do. Right. Monetize these feet and put them on OnlyFans.
I thought about that. I thought about that. I got some cute toes.
People like it. There's a demand.
All right. Y'all put up or shut up. Let's see these toes.
They like cute toes.
I would like to see them.
You know he can't lift his feet that high. He gotta get up.
Wait, can I do it? I can't do now.
No, watch it, Kaz. Don't go down too far.
You like Kaz's feet.
Ooh, child. I can't see him.
We see everything but your toe, Yvonne.
Oh, she does. Yeah.
Are those toes suckable, Quantis?
I guess. Which ones?
Yvonne.
Yeah, Yvonne. But not his.
I'm proud of you, Kaz. You just stood on one foot without any.
Kaz is very agile.
You gotta be. Some of these men out here want me to do all these things and flips and trips.
Well, happy Pride Month. Do your flips and kicks and flips.
I'm gonna go to
this
board.
All right, Yvonne. Get to that dollar. I know what you got to get to that
dollar, Cutie.
Yeah, thank you. Because Amanda's doing her thing, and I'm about to help her. We got to talk business, so
get that money.
That money.
Yeah,
get that money.
Carolina.
All right, y'all. See you next week.
All right. Any final thoughts, Cass and Nandi and Grant? So
well, your toes, Nandi, since everybody got their toes.
I don't have cute feet.
And we're not looking at
you either. So mine ain't coming up.
Quantis look
I've
like he
been in
got
LA
house feet.
most of my life.
I got
Quantis,
nice
look,
feet. I didn't put no lotion on.
Quantis walking around like he in the Lord of the Rings.
I know. And then one of them came off. One of them came
You
off.
see my hand nails? These are my natural nails.
Oh, these are my natural nails.
Those are not natural at all.
These are my natural nails.
Yeah,
God, I'm done
I
with
change
that.
them every 2 weeks.
All right. Any final thoughts on monetization,
Yeah.
Kaz? Before we'll go Nandi then Kaz.
No.
No final thoughts, Nandi? You
No
hate the
thoughts.
system, blow it up, right?
Come here.
I mean,
Sit
no
down.
problem.
I'm the king of blow up the system, but I am going to survive and thrive while this motherfucker is alive.
That's the warning.